The year was 1796. President George Washington was closing out his second and final term with a warning. A warning about 3 imminent dangers that threatened the very survival of the newfound country. One of these dangers was the creation of political parties, which he feared would lead to a polarized culture of hyperpartisanship and irreparable division between Americans. In many ways, he was right. But what Washington failed to predict was the rise of some sick political merch. And therein lies the topic of this video, rating American political parties entirely by how good their merch is. To be more specific, I'm talking about goods that are sold directly by the parties themselves, rather than political-themed items sold by a third-party entity, so I won't be looking at websites like TeePublic or Etsy. And also, let me get this out of the way right now. I'm just gonna be talking about the merch. Nothing about the parties themselves or their beliefs. I want this video to be as neutral and apolitical as possible, but you don't have to be. Feel free to drop your most toxic political hot take in the comments section below, and be sure to let commenters you disagree with know just how wrong and bad they are. Anyways, let's begin. First up, the Democratic Party. Now the first thing I notice is that it uses the word store instead of shop in the web domain. I prefer the word shop. I don't know why, it just carries a homier, cozier feel. I won't take points off, but consider this a warning. Now the first relevant thing I notice is the prominence of the distinctive Democratic blue. Their logo is minimalist but surprisingly pleasant. It's not wildly imaginative, but it's got a sturdiness to it. I will say I prefer the old sky blue color over this darker hue, but that's a minor preference. I do like both. The Democrats' merch designs tend to follow these basic formulas: the D logo, the donkey, photos of people, and plain boring words. The types of merch are as basic as it gets: shirts, sweatshirts, hats, buttons, pins, signs, and stickers. The only real unique thing they've got for sale are friendship bracelets, and I don't know, $20 for this? This isn't even their donkey. These are just run-of-the-mill materials that anyone can buy from a craft store and make themselves for a fraction of the price. I get that all party merch is insanely marked up on account of also being a political donation, but even then, you're really not getting anything for your money here. You still want to get something with some kind of value, otherwise you could have just clicked the donate button. Anyways, so the special item's a bust. How's the rest? Starting with clothing, I can say immediately that the Democrats really like minimalism. They've got 2 logos to work with, a D in a circle, and the Democratic donkey. Shirts that use these logos do not feature them very prominently. Every shirt and sweatshirt that uses either symbol relegates them to a tiny spot over your heart. I like this as an option. I do appreciate understated designs. However, they don't ever get flashy. The backs and sleeves feel like wasted space. There are these long sleeves that utilize the sleeves by writing famous quotes on them, which looks neat, but why are they the only ones that do that? The fronts of these shirts are backgroundless photographs of famous Democratic politicians. Not inherently bad, but the black and white color scheme is pretty boring. Most other shirts feature either royal blue or navy, both of which look nice. This set is definitely uniform. None of it looks particularly bad, but none of it stands out much either. Except for this. What the hell is this? Oh, it's a reference to a quote, which is found on the back. No, I don't think I'll be wearing it. Besides shirts and sweatshirts, they've also got hats. The logos look really good on the hats. I can imagine the matching shirts and hats being pretty satisfying together. I've noticed though that the donkey's been redesigned to be simpler and cuter. It isn't bad, but the old donkey's nowhere to be seen. What gives? That one was classic, and I find its design to be superior to this one. Maybe they got sick of seeing it all over, but there's no reason to bury it. The Democrats USA shirt is acceptable, I guess. I do very much enjoy this realistic donkey design, paired either with the message "gloves off" or "united in the fight." It's good. It's got a nice throwback design, like something you'd see in the 1800s or early 1900s. The flag behind the donkey looks okay too, but so many of these feel like they were made from a limited pool of assets. I'm getting sleepy here, so let's rush through the rest of what they have. Onesies. Baby onesies with Democrats written simply on the front. Man, the plain word designs are aggressively uninteresting. And personally, I don't like partisan messages on children's clothes. Like, come on, they're babies. They don't get a say in this. Mugs. The same designs as the shirts, but printed on otherwise completely white mugs. They fit well, generally, but man, the whiteness of the mugs gets old fast. There's no indication that the designs are double printed, so the thought of these things being blank white on the back just hurts to imagine. The donkey flag design actually looks its best on the mugs. I really like their D logo on a mug, it just has such a morning in the office feel to it. Signs. They've got 3 to choose from. 2 are a partisan message against a blue backdrop of logos. The effect actually works. It looks better than if it were just solid blue. Once again, the realistically drawn donkey appears and it still looks dapper. I don't know why I like it so much. Maybe it just reminds me of a John Tenniel illustration. Stickers. The same design as before, but in sticker form. I'm not too into stickers. I put too much pressure on myself to find the perfect place for them, and I end up never using them. But that's a personal flaw of mine, and I won't penalize them for it. Also, check this out. I did that Trump stickers, available in 5 packs, 10 packs, or 500 packs. 500! For one small payment of $190. If anyone watching this has bought the 500 pack, then please send me an email to the address "Did you buy the 500 Trump stickers" at myyahoo.com. Thank you. Buttons and pins. More familiar designs. This one seems a little too verbose for a button. Kinda looks like something Squidward would be wearing. The pride flag donkey pin looks uncannily like a piñata. I gotta say though, the D logo pin looks fantastic. It's minimalism done right. It just looks nice. Looks like it could be used in a high-ranking Democrat cosplay, the kind that fools people. The donkey pin also looks great. Actually, this pin is the best use of the donkey redesign that I've seen. I think the redesign looks better as a pin than the original would. Way to go out on a high note. Hey wait, there's one more choice. Donation? That's just a donation to them? What's that doing shuffled in with all the goods? If I buy nothing for $5, it better have free shipping. In conclusion, none of these designs really drop the ball in an egregious way, and there are some good choices here in all categories. There's even some great choices. Ultimately, this store, plays it way too safe. It reminds me a bit of Aperture Science from the Portal games, how you could tell they had a limited imagination and struggled to think of anything beyond what had already been made. That's what's going on here. Final grade, C. Well, that's one party down. Next up is our second oldest party, the Republican Party, also known as the GOP. This is the only party in the video with 2 names, and I do not for the life of me know why. Google says the official name is the Republican Party, while GOP is just a nickname, but I don't know. That nickname seems pretty official when their own website is called GOP.com. Anyways, let's get on with it. Hey, look at that. Shop.gop.com. That's more like it. Right off the bat, their signature red plays well against the white backdrop. Their official logo, the heavily stylized elephant mascot, still looks as good as ever. I'm glad it hasn't been updated, although I guess it would be pretty hard to make this any simpler. Quick criticism though. Which gift will make libs cry? Top picks to trigger libs? That's pretty lame. The little updates at the bottom informing me of other people's purchases also creep me out. I know it's just a first name paired with a state, but I don't know. I don't like it. On to the meat and potatoes. Like the Democrats, the Republicans offer shirts, sweatshirts, hats, mugs, stickers, buttons, pins, and signs. Unlike the Democrats, they also sell glassware, grilling attire, dog collars, drink cozies, and even Christmas ornaments. The only thing they're missing are friendship bracelets, so unfortunately, you'll just have to sit and wonder what could have been. Here's my mock-up of what I think it would have looked like. Once again, starting with shirts, I immediately noticed that they don't really utilize their elephant logo very much. It's given a little spot on these shirts, which does look nice. I also just now realized that they only have one symbol to work with, since their animal mascot is their logo, whereas the Democrats have a logo that's separate from their animal mascot. Huh. Well, small or not, the elephant looks fantastic. This shirt really feels like a direct rival to these two. And unlike the Democrats, The Republicans have several designs where the little elephant logo on front is complemented by a big flashy design on the back. These look great. Mostly. The Proud to be an American one is far and away my favorite design, although I do prefer when their logos are in red rather than white. Freedom Matters looks alright too, except for the strange border around the flag. Personally, I find Don't Blame Me, I Voted Republican to be a bit too catty, although the red and white color scheme can't be argued with. However, I gotta take aim at this one. It's just a plain red shirt simply reading, "Don't vote Democrat." Maybe this is just me, but if my clothes must bear a message, then I would like them to be a message in support of something. In fact, I should just get this out of the way right now. A lot of the merch in this shop is really petty. I have a personal preference towards the more graphic design-oriented things. I'm a sucker for logos, emblems, insignias, all that good shit. I am completely averse to wearing things that are an attack on someone else. I don't take moral issue with it. It doesn't offend me. It's just, I don't know, I guess I just feel like these shirts broadcast to the world, "Hey everyone, this group lives rent-free in my head. I'm always angry at them." Like, I really dislike Seth Rogen as an actor and a writer, but I would never in a million years wear some anti-Seth Rogen shirt like this. If I wore that, he would be the winner, not me. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get through the rest of the normal clothes so we can move on to the more interesting things. These other designs are all right. They don't seem to have any partisan elements, but that's not a bad thing. This one is crap. It's like the Democrats' chair shirt, but without an explanation on the back. I feel like the sweatshirts could benefit from the presence of the elephant. Still, they've got nice understated designs. There's two baby onesies. This one's, yeah. Oh dear God, look at this. It's horrible. Oh, my eyes. Hats. There's a greater variety of baseball caps here, but a lot of the designs feel pretty generic. The voter hat is pretty clever. I appreciate how many color options there are for the elephant logo hat, but this combination feels like an accident. White stitching on a white hat? But why am I talking about the baseball hats at all when they've got this magnificent thing? Look at it. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's affordable. It's the kind of hat you usually only see in cartoons. And you better believe I took notice of what's on top there. Is there any complaint to be had with the Patriot hat? Sadly, there is but one, and it's quite a doozy. It's sold out. Drinkware. Unlike the Democrat store, there's just 4 mugs to choose from. Half are good. And yes, everything I said about this mug applies to this one too. But man, am I pleased to say that there's a lot more than just mugs to choose from. They got drink cozies for keeping your beverage chilly. Would you believe me if I said that every cozy design is solid? I particularly love this one and wish it would appear on more of their merch. Love the natural scenery too. Most striking to me though, the pint glass, the wine glass, and the whiskey glass. What can I say? They just look cool, particularly the latter two. Actually, the pint glass really could have benefited from having, well, you know. But man, I would love to see what the whiskey glass looks like when it's full of Taffer's brown butter bourbon. Stickers. Not much to say, but why are they twice as much as the Democrat stickers? Buttons. Strangely, there's only 2 to choose from. Pins. None? No pins at all? That's too bad. I love pins. I love them a lot more than buttons. Pins are sturdier, textured, and they only leave 1 hole in your shirt instead of 2. They're also an easy way to disguise yourself as some kind of official. Maybe that's why the GOP doesn't offer them. Signs. I was right when I said that a solid background color would be boring. The flag at the bottom saves it a bit. Oh, speaking of which, flags. They got an American flag for sale. That's pretty cool. There's no other flags available, but hey, if they can only sell one, then they chose wisely. Pets. You might think that my complaints about political children's clothing would apply here. You'd be wrong. This is sick. I guess I'm not alone in thinking so, since it's sold out. Dang it. Grillware. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's cool that they offer these, or offered. Sheesh. Since these are the last items, I'll take this chance to say, one last time, Should have put the elephant on him. In conclusion, despite having lower lows than the Democratic store, the GOP shop had far higher highs. They have an equivalent to most of the Democrats' best merch, and the GOP's tends to be better too. Wait, is better equivalent possible, or is that an oxymoron? Whatever. This shop has some seriously fun stuff, and while it would be a very financially illiterate idea to buy all of the following items together, the fact that you can do it from the shop of a political party is a pretty cool novelty. Imagine what a boss you'd look like, wearing this hat, with this shirt, drinking out of this glass, while your dog wears this collar. Yeah. Final grade, B. Now we've just finished looking at the shops of the two major parties. These two parties control virtually all facets of the American government, with very scarce exceptions. If this were a civics video, then we'd be nearing the end. But we're talking about something much deeper than civics. We're talking about merch. And believe me when I say that in the world of political merch, America is a true multi-party system. Minor or third parties fill in some important gaps in the merch ecosystem. Sure, the main two parties will keep you shirted, hatted, drinking coffee, maybe grilling, but that's nothing compared to what we're about to see. We're about to enter a political party merch shop that's so comprehensive, so dense with commodities and choices that you could actually load up your new apartment through them exclusively. It's time we talk about the Libertarian Party. At first glance, the Libertarian shop doesn't seem all that different from what we've seen before. A bit more flashy, sure. Then you realize there's no option to view all products. Seems like a bad choice, until you realize that these 4 tabs up here each contain 3 sub-tabs of their own, with each of those sub-tabs containing 2 or more sub-sub-tabs of their own. Yeah. For a party with 0 people elected to any legislative seat, they sure don't let that bring them down. So extensive is their selection of clothing that they actually separate them in a men and women's section. And when I say clothing, I'm not just talking shirts, sweaters, and hats. They've got pants, shorts, skirts, dresses, swimsuits, bags, totes, backpacks, fanny packs, duffel bags, and various kinds of footwear. All of that is just what you can wear on your body. Feel free to liven up your house with Libertarian Party wall art, decorative towels, goddamn pet bowl, a table runner? Cozy up at night with your libertarian blanket, head nested snugly against one of your many libertarian pillows? You get the idea. You could actually stock your shelves with their drinkware and fill your closet with their clothes, and you'd be more or less set. You would also have to really, really like this Eagle Torch logo of theirs, and, well, let's just transition into that. I mentioned before that the Republican Party has but one logo, whereas the Democrats have 2. Well, look on ye mighty in despair, because the Libertarians have 3. 4 if you count their original Tanstaffel logo, which I do not because it looks like shit. So, 3 logos. They got 3 logos to work with, and all look pretty good in my opinion. The first is their oldest, and it seems to be in the process of being phased out entirely, which is too bad. It's a pretty well-drawn image of the Statue of Liberty, but depicted in that iconic libertarian gold. Nothing in the shop appears to use that graphic at all, which I think is a missed opportunity, but I will say that if they had to drop one logo, I'm glad it was this one. The next is their animal mascot, a porcupine with that political animal style to it. I love it. It leans heavily to the simplified look of the Republican elephant, which was absolutely the right choice. This porcupine is adorable, and unlike the elephant and donkey, forever tied to red and blue, the porcupine has alternate palettes that I just think look awesome. Finally, we come to their most recent logo, the Eagle Torch. You'll come to see in a little bit that they really like this logo. I don't blame them either, I like it a lot too. The torch is an appealing yet common symbol in American politics, same with the eagle. Somehow, these two very different images were able to be combined into something that actually reads as both. Look at it, it's a fire eagle. That's badass. It also manages to look striking both on a white and black background. However, when I say that they really like this logo, I mean it. You'll see what I mean in a bit. So they've got a lot to work with, and work with it they did. Look at all this. I almost feel overwhelmed. Where do I start? I guess I'll keep the tradition going of starting with shirts. Unlike the Democrats and Republicans, this shop has multiple pages of shirts, plus men and women's sections. Fortunately, both sexes share designs, so that'll save me some time. Needless to say, they get major points for providing fitting options. Now, because I've got so much to get to, I'm just going to look at the most remarkable designs, both remarkably good and remarkably bad. I'm going to skip over all the quippy shirts because they're boring. Getting right into my favorite designs, the logo shirts, Libertarians hit it out of the park. They have multiple shirts for both the porcupine mascot and the eagle torch. Starting with the eagle torch, it looks good. Great even. The logo is always paired with their full name, which is fair, but I do wish they would have had at least one shirt that follows the little logo on your heart convention. But hey, I'm nitpicking. They offer a lot of color options. A lot. That's just lovely. Look at this. Athletic heather, mint, orchid, dusty blue, ice blue, lilac, mint, peach, army, black, black heather, brown, dark gray, forest, midnight navy, navy, oxblood black. That's a frickin' cool sounding color. Oxblood black. All this praise for the eagle torch shirts also extends to the porcupine ones. They have just as many color options. The logo itself is placed prominently on front. Hey, they even got something on the back. Nice. I also like this realistically drawn porcupine. You could almost imagine it appearing in some 19th century political cartoon, the kind with incessant labeling on everything. I like it. They also offer polos if you're into that sort of thing. If you are, you won't have any complaints here. But let's look at the bad shirts now. First off is this. I think that's Murray Rothbard depicted as Braveheart. No, I don't think I'll be wearing it. Then you've got Tax This Ass, a design they were so proud of that they put it not just on shirts, but also 2 different types of hats, plus a hoodie. Good lord, this looks awful. Something about the donkey's face just looks so punchable. How do I put it? Okay, you know those soulless adult cartoons with super rigid art styles? You know how they'll have those promo images where the characters look slightly more emotive than usual, but they don't even look that emotive. So you just think, wow, is that really the best they could do? They're trying to catch my eye and they think this is good enough for me? If this is how bad the promo looks, then how bad is the show? The donkey looks like it belongs in one of those shows. The joke itself is what I would call Brickleberry tier writing. And oh yeah, I don't want to wear a donkey butt on my face or my chest. This feels like the joke is on me, not anyone else. Plus, I don't know. Maybe I've spent too much time online, but I would be worried that people might walk away with the wrong idea about me. They might think I crawled up from the unsightly depths of DeviantArt. Moving on. The shop has a wide variety of sweatshirts and jackets. Most share designs with the shirts, both winners and losers. I gotta say, it's really nice to have a choice between sweatshirts, pullover hoodies, and zip-ups. Most have a design on the front and back, plus all those colors to choose from. This would all be enough, but they really went above and beyond by also offering a denim jacket and a track jacket. The denim is pretty straightforward and gets a thumbs up from me, but the track jacket, well, let me preface this by saying, I'm glad it is offered. It is definitely a vibrant design. It's certainly interesting. It's also one of the tackiest things I've ever seen in my life. Just look at it. The sleeves are rad, the general form of it is good, but man, remember what I said just a few minutes ago? They really like this logo. Yeah. Wow. It's way too busy. It sort of looks like the kind of texture you'd see in Chowder. Remember Chowder? Now, I'm no artist, just look at that profile picture, so I sadly can't provide the most educated feedback, but I think the main problem here is just how striking the whites and yellows are. It's like your eyes are being pulled in a million different directions by these competing bright colors. I made a shoddy attempt at making the colors both uniform and more muted. I don't know that I like it, but I do know that the Libertarian Party expects you to wear the track pants with the track jacket, and that is just too much. Actually, the overuse of the eagle torch is a recurring problem. It doesn't always look bad, but it makes a lot of items look disorienting. I do think it looks good on the flip-flops, and while I'm iffy on the pillows, they do offer an alternative design on the back. Oh, I like it on the bandana too, for some reason. I'm a fickle guy. Well, anyways, We could spend all day here, so let's start punching through the rest of the categories. Legwear. There's quite a few winners here. I scolded the track pants for lacking discipline, but the jogger, shorts, yoga pants, and sweats all look great. I love the big prominent logo on them. Also, now's a good time to mention that the party's use of gold, gray, black, and white lead to some really appealing combinations. For some reason, I like the white yoga pants with all the torches. Maybe removing black from the color scheme makes it more uniform. I don't know. Headwear. Aside from one design, the hats are superb. There's a variety of types too. Snapbacks, trucker hats, beanies, visors, hair ties, frickin' pom-pom beanies. The only thing missing is a Libertarian Patriot hat, but hey, that thing's probably made of cheap material anyways. Like the shirts, the hats also come in a wide variety of colors. For some reason, I like the idea of a matching navy hat-shirt combo. Maroon would also be good. My only real complaint is that the porcupine isn't used on any of them, which is a big missed opportunity. Still, this is far and away the best hat section so far. And spoiler alert, it stays the best hat section. Footwear. They have their own shoes? These guys are next level. Not only that, they all look great. Definitely pricey, so hopefully they're stitched with love and care. The high tops are easily my favorite, followed by the slip-ons. It's too bad there's no mock-up photo of a model wearing a matching set of Libertarian shoes, pants, shirt, jacket, hat, and bag. I'd love to see that, but there's no way in hell am I spending the money needed to do it myself. Drinkware. By now the words most extensive selection of have probably worn off on you. Fair. They once again apply to this category though, so let me list what you can buy. Can glass, pint glass, wine tumbler, straw cup, travel mug, water bottle. Then there's the good old-fashioned mugs, some of which are good enough to deserve special mention. First off is this humble mug with the usual design, but it's got a yellow handle and an interior. This is by far my favorite white mug. Something about the white and yellow go together perfectly. For some inexplicable reason, it's also $5 cheaper than another design that's basically the same thing, but without the yellow embellishments. Weird. Next are the porcupine mugs. They come in two variations. One is the traditional red and blue political animal colors, but the other replaces them with yellow and gray to beautiful results. I love this palette. And what's this? Choose a size? Up until this point, every mug I've shown you has been the common 11-ounce size. It's the default, so the choice of 15 ounces or even 20 is very appreciated. I would love to load this baby up with coffee and just tackle my day head on. Linens. Alright, so we've got beach towels, decorative hand towels, a throw blanket, a damn table runner, and 2 types of pillows. I like everything here. The beach towel with the busy design actually pulls it off well, as does the blanket. And I've already mentioned that the pillows have alternate backsides. Quality stuff. The table runner seems a little ostentatious though, doesn't it? Wall art. You can have the Libertarian Party's favorite logo on small canvas, big canvas, framed, or in flag form. I only just now realized that they don't have yard signs. Honestly, good. Why pay money to advertise someone else's political party? At least with the other stuff, you get some kind of practical benefit from it, or a nice decoration. Yard signs, though, even the well-designed ones just seem like a pain in the butt. Buttons, patches, and stickers. Alas, no pins. Darn, not even a porcupine? There's only one button selection, and it's exactly what you'd expect. Looks nice, but the larger size just seems to make the border thicker. Hopefully that's a mistake in the image. They offer a patch, which is neat. Their stickers are actually all pretty dignified looking, and I really like this fancy holographic one. Odds and ends. They've got a dog bowl. No collar, but hey, the bowl looks like they put effort into it. It's got a detachable rubber base, and it comes in 2 sizes. They've also got both a notebook and journal, a laptop sleeve, phone cases, postcards, these things. You get the idea. I also dug through individual state party shops just to see if I was missing anything. For the most part, everything was business as usual, par for course. But the Nevada Libertarian Party went above and beyond by offering a skateboard deck. That's rad. If I knew the first thing about skateboards, then I would get one. But I don't even know how to put the wheels on, and this doesn't come with them. If anyone watching has bought one of these, please send me an email to didyoubuythe500trumpstickers@myyahoo.com. What, did you think I'd make a whole new email address every time this running joke comes up? I've got a life, you know. The last thing of note is a candidate website template for $100, which, well, it's cool of them to offer, but man, this is blurring the line between politics and merch a bit too much for me, so let's move on. Conclusion. Wow. If all you knew about the parties were their merch shops, then you'd be forgiven for assuming that the Libertarians were the major party and everyone else was minor. Just to be clear, they're not. But god dang, this shop had love put into it. Their party takes its own distinctive and striking aesthetics, then applies them to so many different things that even a hater is bound to find something they like. I have no choice but to give this shop the highest grade I can, an A+. I would love to give them an S, but alas, I am not a 3D Sonicking. Anyways, on to the greens. Living up to its namesake, the Green Party merch shop heavily features their iconic color. Good. Right away, they're at a huge disadvantage against the previous three. They've only got one logo and no animal mascot. No animal mascot? But they're the environmentalist party. Why not pick an endangered species, or some kind of archetypical forest critter, like a deer or a squirrel? Ah well. The G in the tilted square does look appealing in a similar way to the Democrats' D in the circle. I like their logo. It seems they don't, though, given that it doesn't appear on any of their shirts. What? Why? The closest they come to it is this one. It looks okay, but man, it sucks that there's no Green Party equivalent to the classic logo on the heart look. Ugh, these designs are boring. There's so much black and white. Some of these shirts don't even have the color green at all, which I wouldn't be complaining about if not for the fact that it's in their damn name. Not to mention, these designs do not benefit from being monochrome. That Kelly green of theirs is actually really easy on the eyes, so why not utilize it more? None of the Legalize It shirts color the leaf in, even though it's green in real life. Is it better for being white? No, it isn't. There are a lot of shirts that just plainly read Green Party with a big G on it. I'll admit, I like their font, but man, none of these designs take advantage of their environmentalist roots. This one has a sunflower at least, although it's not at all that special looking. The Lavender Caucus shirt is probably the most aesthetically striking one they've got. The Star Wars parody one it's just weird. It's just got a how do you do fellow kids vibe to it. I wonder if Disney would file a cease and desist if they were aware of it. The Rise Resist Revolt shirt would have really benefited from having someone waving their logo rather than just waving Green Party in plain text. How often do you see, for example, Americans waving around a flag that simply reads America on it, rather than the American flag itself? Have these guys wave the Green Party logo, then they could have written gp.org under it, as they had been doing pretty consistently up until this point. Yeah, this shirt selection is poor, and the sweatshirts are no better. I mean, really now. No earths? No trees? No natural scenery? As for hats, they don't have any. On to the next tab then. The accessories tab offers a pretty sweet looking banner. Maybe they do consider the empty green square to be their logo. If that's the case, then it's a miscalculation. I'm glad the Democrats didn't just pair a blue circle with their names and call it a day. Their only mugs are Legalize It and then their empty logo. Both are otherwise completely white, and there's no reason to believe they're double printed, so I can only assume that these are some dull mugs. The totes are alright. You get one guess which one I would want. They do offer their proper logo as a pin, and it's the shining item in their whole catalog. I love it. I wish I could say the same for the buttons, but the green text on black background is at least good. This button's spooky. Look, it's the Omen Caucus. Ooh. Their stickers section should be renamed to sticker, since there's only one. It does its job, and the sunflower in the square provides some much needed visual activity. Interestingly, they have a free download section. Most of his political literature, go figure. There's some downloadable signs, if you don't mind using an inordinate amount of ink printing them. Far and away the coolest downloads are the coloring books. I know I've been hating thus far, but these are awesome. And they're free. That's the kind of ingenuity I wish they had put into their apparel. Conclusion. This was disappointing. This shop had very little to offer, which is made all the worse by just how much potential they had. We've seen and will see parties who had a lot less of a premise to work with, but managed to do much more with much less. Green Party, if you're watching this, please take another whack at your merch shop. Get some freelance artists. I'm sure there's plenty who would gladly do this pro bono. It's with a heavy heart that I must grade this a D. Let's have a solemn moment of reflection, and then it's on to the Working Families Party. Now, my original plan was to talk about the Constitution Party and then the Reform Party. The Constitution Party holds a quiet distinction as the 5th biggest in the country, I think. Meanwhile, the Reform Party came famously close to becoming a 3rd major party, but then dropped off the face of the earth. I would have loved to have given them their own dedicated sections and seen what their hats look like, probably like this. However, neither party has a shop right now. A shame. So, Working Families Party, anyone? Immediately, your eyeballs are greeted by this beautiful color. Not quite red, not quite orange. Wait, I looked it up. It is orange? Well, it's the most gorgeous shade of orange I've ever seen. It pairs well with both black and white text, and thankfully makes an appearance in some of their merch itself. Off to a good start. Now, like the Democrats, the Working Families Party has a logo and they have an animal mascot. Unlike the animals we've seen previously, the WFP's wolf is not rendered in that old school political mascot style. You know, where it's divided into 2 colors with stars up top. Normally I would be disappointed by this, but their wolf is a masterpiece, as is the guiding star it's under. I love this. Their logo, while simple, is nonetheless pleasing to look at, and the presence of the guiding star is a nice way to connect it to the wolf. Good work, fellas. Beginning with shirts, they've got a lot of, pretty generic slogans and wordy choices, but shuffled in with them are some absolute winners. Naturally, my favorite is the wolf one. You know it would be, but it looks awesome in black and white, but the clear and obvious winner is purple. Oh my god, look at that. Mwah. The recurring colors are black, white, purple, and orange, but goodness, these specific shades of purple and orange are absolute perfection. They give me 90s vibes for some reason, like you could expect to see this palette used on Nickelodeon or on MTV. Whoa, speaking of MTV, maybe that is what they were going for. This is also an absolute winner of a shirt. It's bittersweet to see it sold out. I may never get one, but at least it wasn't unappreciated. Their plain text shirt would be boring under most circumstances, but they chose both their fonts and colors very wisely. Look at that electric orange text on that purple. Oh man, look at that jersey. The front and back would be enough for me to love it. But check the sleeves. It's the wolf! They utilize their sleeve space with their animal mascot! Alright, I can't just gush, people will think I'm compromised. The hats are nothing to write home about. The? Zorro? Oh, Zoran, the New York mayoral candidate. Well, I just dated my video. There's this wordy one, and the last hat is just their name. The color text saves it from being completely boring, but No wolf hat? No stars? No? When it comes to jackets, they've got 3. A hoodie with their name, a zip-up with their logo over the heart, and... oh my god, the bomber jacket. Forgive me if you wanted to hear about the hoodies. Very nice purple, good stuff. Okay, the bomber jacket. Just look at it. That is some artisan embroidery on both the front and back. Imagine how good that satin feels. It's almost perfect. Just one caveat, $175. It's a collector's item, clearly. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, maybe I shouldn't have used the word caveat. And of course, if anyone here has bought one, you know the drill. Alright, that's enough gazing longingly at it. Let's get to the rest of their stuff, which isn't much. They've only got 2 mugs to choose from. One is a typical white mug with their WFP logo on it. At least it's double printed. It's not bad, but no wolf mug, no other colors. The other is a parody of The Real Housewives. Never seen it. As for pins, no pins. The button set has excellent colors, but, You know what they're missing. The totes are missing the wolf too, but the purple and orange alternating text here looks rad. I don't think I'll get sick of that combination. Some alright stickers. This 6-pack contains the coveted wolf, but only one, and it's pretty small. I'm glad they have it at all, but man, if you buy this sticker pack, then be sure to use your wolf wisely. The bandana has some good greens on it. And that's all she wrote. Conclusion. The Working Families Party has style. For the first time in my life, I wish I knew about fashion just so I could properly describe the look they're going for. Whatever it's called, they nail it. Their use of color is brilliant, maybe even more so than the Libertarian Party. They've got their own visual identity that says badass outsider without seeming try hard. It's all just so tantalizing that I didn't even remember to whine about the web domain using the word store instead of shop. That's the unmistakable sign of a job well done. Now the shop is missing a lot of pretty obvious products, and they do not utilize the wolf enough, but those flaws aren't enough to knock it out of the upper echelons of political party merchandising. Final score, A-. And that's about it for the real significant political party merch shops. However, I got 5 quickies for you. These catalogs are too short to warrant their own dedicated section, so I'm just going to plow through them. They are the Prohibition Party, Solidarity Party, No Labels Party, Alliance Party, and Forward Party. Let's go! Prohibition Party. Their shop doesn't actually have its own domain, instead being based out of Zazzle, but it is their official Zazzle shop, so I'm going to count it. All they've got are buttons, and buttons are all they got. Their camel mascot is frickin' awesome. I had a lot of praise for the heavily stylized Republican elephant and Libertarian porcupine, but the Prohibition camel is realism done right. The rest don't really jump out at me. This one hurts my eyes when I look at it. This one has a nice old school design, and the message is hilarious, possibly my intention. Vote dry. It's just really funny to imagine there's still people trying to bring back prohibition. It doesn't even feel like a political topic, at least not in the modern era. It would be like someone today having strong opinions on the War of the Currents from the 1880s. Final grade? They're just buttons. But I do enjoy that camel. C-. Solidarity Party. At a glance, this seems like a shop that deserves its own deep dive like we did with the first 5 parties. There's a lot for sale here. Then you realize that everything has the same design. A silhouetted pelican flying in front of a big sun. It looks good, especially as a flag. There's a nice array of options here with shirts, sweatshirts, hats, drinkware, pins, buttons, and stickers all available. Some different designs would be nice, but at least this way there's no complaints about items lacking a logo variant. Final grade, C+. No labels. This is just poor. I like this lavender. I like this shade of red. What are these designs? No Labels Party doesn't even have a logo, just their plainly written name thrown lazily onto unembellished shirts. Look how pathetic it is here. Oh wow, an eagle. Such a cliche, and it's already the mascot of the Constitution Party and the Reform Party. What, you guys want it too? Leave it alone. This half-realistic sky, half-blank red image looks like crap too. I would go easier on them if they were some fledgling group, but they had tens of millions of dollars put into them, and they got ballot access in multiple states. What, none of the staff had a single artistic bone in their body? This is just inexcusable. They didn't care. They wanted to sell things with no regards for what they were selling. They slapped together the first design they could think of with what are most likely stock assets, then called it a day. I could try to give them points for offering a water bottle and phone cases along with the more typical merch options, but come on. We've seen the same offered from several other shops already, all of which look better than these. This is all a bunch of nothing. Final grade, F. Alliance Party. Their shop has just 3 choices, but you know what? All 3 choices look good. I like the phasing star logo, and their name too. Alliance Party. It works on the tote, it works on the shirt, and it works on the mug. Bonus points to the mug for its unique shape and that splash of purple on the handle. I am concerned that the tote and mug may be single printed. Plus, just how big are they? Some dimensions would be nice, but given how reasonable these prices are, I really can't complain. Nice colors, nice design, quality over quantity. Final grade, B. Forward Party. Surprisingly good visual style. The cobalt and navy color combination is fresh. The logo is good, not great, but good. The neon pink shirts are strangely appealing. I actually really like the baseball shirt. And this is the only shop we've seen that offers socks. My only concern is that they're going for some kind of competitive gamer look. Gamers don't own these colors, right? All in all, an above average political party merch shop. Final grade, B-. Closing thoughts. 10 political parties, 10 merch shops, hundreds and hundreds of excessively partisan clothes and trinkets, most of which should only be worn at gunpoint. Like it or not, we just went on quite a journey together. Here's a final tally of my grades, but don't take them to heart. The truth is, you shouldn't choose a party based on how much I liked their merch. You should choose a party based on how much you like their merch. It's a big, beautiful country full of more weird crap to order than any rational mind could conjure. It's up to you to open your eyes, open your mind, and most importantly, open your wallet. Thanks for watching. A special shout out to my following patrons. If you like my video, give it a like, and if you can subscribe too, then it'd mean a lot to me. No pressure though. I hope you enjoyed, and take care out there.